Yo, what's up guys, it's me Kaluchi back with a new video, and today we're gonna talk about Lucian, and Lucian particularly in the laning phase. Now why have I decided to make this video is because Lucian is very dependent on his laning phase, and it's very important that you know his strengths and weaknesses in order to play this guy efficiently. So I've got two games recorded for you guys. The first one will be a live action game where you can see my input as well. The second game is a replay. However, I still think you guys can learn a thing or two. Also, the reason why his laning phase is so important is because if Lucian doesn't have a really strong early game or a laning phase, he will fall off pretty hard in mid game and late game. It's kind of a snowball champion, just like Samira in my opinion. Further details into the video. Let's just dive right into it, guys. Talking to them. So in this very first game, I am Lucian and my support is Nami. She has electrocute, so we have a lot of kill potential and a lot of damage. This basically means that we have to play pretty aggressive, and we can actually. We're up against Bart and Draven. Well, Draven is kind of scary because he has a lot of damage output. Bart really isn't that much. A very good Bart player might be scary for some, but in general, a Bart, only thing you have to watch out for are his ganks with his E in laning phase with the enemy jungle, or you have to watch out for his Q. But because we're Lucian, we can easily maneuver around his Q. As for Draven, if Draven wants to trade with us, all we have to do is actually fight him. We should win almost every time as long as Nami has her cooldowns up. Her electrocute will pop and my PTA will pop, and that will basically mean that we win the fight. Knowing this, we can play pretty aggressive and pretty far forward. We just have to watch out for the Q of Bart. One more thing to keep in mind when you're playing against a Draven is usually Draven players really want to trade kills because they get more gold out of it, so it's worth it for them. So if we can starve Draven, even if we go even, as a Lucian you don't want to go even, but even if we go even, it's kind of worth it. Knowing this, I'm trying to get level 2 before the enemies. Draven is also hard pushing, but I'm also doing my best. If we can get level 2 before them, it's a really easy win. We get it at the same time. I kind of miscalculate right here and I immediately dash in. We still win the trade. For some reason, I stopped attacking Draven there. If I did one more basic attack, I think he would flash out in time anyway. But maybe we could have killed him here. We already established a lot of lane dominance here. And Draven, he's kind of stupid to move back in here. It's a pretty easy kill. I was actually waiting for him to be in line with the minions so I could Q him, but he actually stepped all the way forward so I could just dash in. Bart's already tilted by this move, as you can see, standing still, so that's a very good sign. Usually Draven players tilt really fast. Right after his death, I asked Nami to actually help me with the push after we get the first plate, so that the wave is actually pushed in and we can get a free reset. You will notice that Draven actually comes back before we can actually finish the push. This is actually pretty greedy sometimes, but it is what it is. We did get a plate, so that gold is worth it. I'm trying to recall here in this first bush. Nami's in the second one, and I don't know what Draven is thinking this game, but he's walking up way too much. So again, mechanically speaking, I didn't make the right call here. He still had exhaust up and I was just blindly moving in. However, I knew that Rengar was also incoming, so I actually went way too deep here. I died for it, which is not worth it. We do shut down Draven once more, which is very worth it. But if I wanted to play this completely perfect, I would have engaged on him, pushed him into the river, and let Rengar clean up the kill. So as a Lucian, you constantly want to look for an engage or a trade that you can pull off. Because we have Nami, we do have some more sustain over Bart. Bart has heals as well, but Nami is more efficient in fights. So what I'm trying to do is whenever I see the enemy overstep, it's really easy to do a quick burst with Lucian. So I'm not really trying to shove in here because they're already shoving into us, which is great. So I'm just trying to either thin out wave or just last hit, you know. So here you can see Bart and Draven both walk up sometimes, a bit too much. And I'm trying to punish Draven whenever I see that. This time it didn't work out, but there we see Bart moving up. I do a quick burst. I see that Draven is going all out on me, so I just back off. This trade is already worth it for us. If I went for the Bard kill there, I would have died. Instead, Bart is rendered completely useless, and Draven still walks up, which leaves us for a easy 1v2. And therefore, we got another kill. So you don't always have to greed. If you can get them to very low HP, you can see that the enemy champion is being rendered useless, and it's a pretty uneven fight for them, which is just the better for us. After that, we just shove in once again, and we just recall. So right here, I'm going to pause the video, and I want to ask you guys, what would you do right now, right here? Well, the right answer is you want to dive this Draven. He's solo, and if we look at the minimap, we can see Bart being in mid lane, and there's no one to actually save him in time if we actually go in for this dive. That's exactly what I do. Unfortunately, the tower just two-shots me. I completely did not expect this, as I was full HP. As soon as the second shot was coming in, I should have flashed just right before that, so it couldn't finish me off. However, Draven already had to reset like 4 times in a row. This guy cannot farm, he cannot get any XP, and his support is actually roaming. This is a great way to shut down the enemy Draven. If your support cannot follow the enemy support in roaming, you just need to shut down the enemy bot. And that's what we're trying to do here. He's already 2-5 while we're 4-1, which is a great win for us. So right now we're back in lane, and as you know, Draven is pretty far behind, but he's still pretty strong. He still has a lot of damage output, so I should watch out if I don't have my exhaust up. So what I'm trying to do is, before I engage with the enemy Draven, I try to actually poke him down a bit, and I try to do this with my ultimate. The reason why I don't engage right here is because I'm still afraid of his damage. I could normally usually just E in, Q, do my whole combo, and I would win against most ADCs. However, against Draven it's a bit different. He's still pretty strong, so I'm just waiting for the right moment. Here I see the whole wave being cleaned out, so I use my ult. He's only half HP, and this is how I actually finish him off. And as you can see, he still dealt a lot of damage, and I did not have to use my exhaust this way. I also waited for my exhaust to come back up, because if I did not have the damage, and if he did have enough damage, I should have used it. Everything was nice. We got a clean kill, 1v1, and we can keep on pushing. Oh yeah, and this Bart just totally ends here as well, so that's also nice. Like, sometimes I don't understand that these guys are diamond. I cannot believe it. This will be the last clip of this particular game. I'm coming back to the laning phase, and I see that Draven is still as aggressive as ever, so I try my luck. I thought I was strong enough to beat him 1v1 with my exhaust up, but he also had exhaust up, so the trade was pretty even. We were both pretty low, so I didn't really want to engage after that, just blindly with my E. So what I did instead is I was waiting for my ultimate to come back up, and as soon as the wave was cleared, I immediately looked at the minimap to see where my minions were, and if they were coming towards the tower, because if I use my ult and his wave is coming in, then the minions will just block my ultimate, right? So I made sure that these minions were not in range, and then I just used my ult, and I expected this E as well, so I just move a little bit back, and I get the pretty easy kill this way. Alright, so this was the replay game that I was talking about, and this time we're Lucian Sona against Thresh Jhin. Now, as a Lucian Sona, you do not have the same kill potential as with a Nami. Actually, you almost have none kill potential, especially not against the Jhin and Thresh. Jhin Thresh usually is a very strong combo. They got good chain CC, a lot of damage, and it's just a very scary combo to play against. As in Lucian, I'm safe, but my Sona is not that safe. We went for heal and exhaust, and she went for summoner Airy. Now what we have to watch out for is obviously Thresh's E and Thresh's Q. If they cannot land their CC on us, we should be fine. So the first thing I would like to note out right here is, you cannot see it, but they were already pushing for level 2. So I'm just pinging Sona back. I'm just telling her, just give them level 2. They're pushing into us anyway, so they cannot do anything with the advantage. So that's what happens. We just back off. This is very important, okay? And right here, Thresh immediately goes in for a stupid trade. And the only thing I could have done better here is if we rewind this. Look, I'm gonna do this in slow motion so you guys can all see. The moment he walks up, it's unfortunate that I already used my Q, but we deal a lot of damage. And the moment that I saw that I couldn't AA anymore, I should have backed off. Because I didn't, I got one more auto attack of Jhin, which was not worth it. So after that happened, we're just trying to get level 2. We already know that they will get level 2 before us, so we just walk back. Another thing, let's just rewind this one more time. I'm gonna rewind a lot because we're in replay mode, and I can. Right here we can see Thresh walking up. He's gonna throw his hook, and he's probably gonna throw it around this area because right here I cannot dodge anymore, right? And his hitbox is wide enough to actually hit me. So what you want to do is you just want to walk up. Most supports do not expect this. Some might try a mad life and they will hit you, but in general, if you just walk up here, you will avoid most skill shots. As you can see, very easy. So right after the amazing hook of Thresh, they kept on playing very aggressive. Now I understand why they're playing aggressive, but they should not underestimate our damage. So right here, I'm gonna do this in slow motion. I'm still trying to get level 2, and Thresh gets hit by a tower. And immediately after, Jhin gets hit as well. Sona doesn't die. I walk up way too much. I'm still not level 2, guys. Can you believe it? So once I notice that I'm not able to kill him, I immediately flash out. I level up, I get my E immediately, and I turn back into Jhin. Pop, pop. I did not expect him to flash there, but it is what it is. And the correct play here right now is to back off and just focus on the minion wave. The reason why I did not freeze this wave is because the waves were even. In that case, it's really hard to freeze the wave. So I'd rather just shove it all the way in and then take a reset. As I come back in the laning phase, I see that they're pushing into us. I really love when enemies push into me, usually because I can set up a freeze. However, you cannot always set up a freeze. Because if the enemy has a lot of pressure, you just cannot hold the freeze and they will just force you out of it and they will crash it under your tower. So here I am trying to thin out the wave. I'm just watching out for Thresh. That's basically all you want to avoid in this laning phase. And as soon as he uses one of his abilities, you have an opening for a few seconds. Now that hook was completely illegal. But let me show you why I engaged there, and that was super worth it, by the way. Let's pause, let's slow this. So, of course, I did not expect his hook to hit here, but as soon as I saw that Jhin had no more bullets, I actually went in, because obviously he cannot trade that much with me. So let's see what happens. He goes in, Jhin hits tower, hits Q on me, I immediately go in, he cannot really retaliate yet. I get my burst off, one more hit, bomb, and I immediately back off. He has nothing in order to kill me, right? I know that I have a Sona, I can heal everything back up, but he cannot. I also have a health potion. So let's take a look at our health bars, okay? Let's take a look. Jhin is still very low. Meanwhile, I'm super fresh. Because I know this, we can now play very aggressive, and this is a very important part. Right now, you can freeze the wave. I was just talking about sometimes you cannot do it because the enemy will pressure too much, but this is a perfect example of when you can freeze the wave. So that's what I'm doing. He's gonna miss out a lot of CS here. So you just want to keep this up. This is super easy to do with Lucian as well, because you can just, whenever they walk up to get CS, you can burst them down so quickly like this, and you know they have to think twice again. So after some roaming from both our team and the enemy team, I went back to bot side. I was trying to get some plates. Because I didn't know where Thresh was, I walked all the way back. You never want to get ganked through river as an ADC when your support is roaming. I finally spotted Thresh, so I stay here, and I also saw Master Yi. So right now I know I need to get the fuck out of here because I don't want to get 1v3. Very quick tip, as you can see, Thresh engages here on Sona, and Jhin also wants to burst Sona down. This is about target prioritization. The first thing I do is I want to hit Jhin because Thresh has no kill threat on Sona anyways after this. So as soon as I hit Jhin, Sona is pretty safe. Alright, so we're back in lane. We can see Thresh on the minimap, and we know that Machi was just bot side. I expected him to actually reset here, but guess what? He was still in this very first bush. I walked down because I don't want to get hooked by Thresh, and bam, this happens. Why does he stop there? I have no idea. And they just completely run it down. I love this, bro. That's what you get. This is not really well played by me or anything. This is just very poorly played by the enemies. But we'll take it nonetheless, right? Alright, so we arrived at the last part of this video. I just want to show you guys. I'm freezing once again. Right now I'm up ahead 20 CS. We're 3-2-2 against 2-3-3. And after this point on, I actually managed to snowball really hard. I ended 12-3. But this is why freezing is so important. So once again, I'm freezing here, and Lucian cannot get in XP range or in gold range. And I'm just holding on to this. I might actually speed this up because this will take quite some time before we actually break this freeze. So let's speed it up. We can still see them in both sides. And the moment that he tries to go in for a minion, I contest him immediately. So right here, you can see he wants to go in. I know the Q is down of Thresh. You know, if he oversteps, I am in his face. And that's what you want to do. You want to make him impatient and try to make him make mistakes. There we go. Quick trade. And he's already at 30% HP. So right now, because we have a pretty huge wave, we don't actually have to freeze anymore. We can just shove this under his tower. We have a big wave, so they cannot really contest us either way. Thresh tries to flash in. And I go here for a slick little play. Okay. So usually what Thresh players do is once they use their E, they immediately use their Q, right? So I thought probably he's going to throw it out in a straight line. So as soon as I E downwards, I can use my ultimate and he will probably die by that time. Usually don't want to focus the Thresh, but if he's going to play like this, we're going to focus the Thresh. So let's do this again. He goes in. Look at this. I walk up. I already get some nice damage onto him. Immediately E down. Sona gets a great ult off, and it's just very easy cleanup. So this was the last part that I was actually gonna show you guys. The sound is so hard. Let me put it like this. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something from it, and if you did, please, you know, just like, subscribe, or let me know what you would like to see next, and we can do that as well. We ended the game pretty solidly, 12-3, like I said, dealt a lot of damage and managed to carry this game. I hope to see you guys next time, and have a nice day.